Here's a quick tip from Stefanie Japel's Circular Knit Lab, Hats 4 Ways.
Hi everybody, I'm Stefanie Japel for Circular Knit Lab, Hats 4 Ways, and in this segment I'd like to show you how to cast on using double-pointed needles. Okay, so double-pointed needles usually come in a set of 5, but you need to reserve 1 needle aside that you're going to use to manipulate the stitches with. So when you cast on, you'll either cast on using 3 needles or 4 needles. So I'll show you first how to cast on using 3 needles, and then how to join, and then how to add that 4th one in if you need to. All right, so just as we cast on using any kind of needle, we start out first with our slip knot. Put the little slip knot onto the needle, and then you will divide the number of stitches that you want to cast on evenly. So let's say that we want to cast on 15 total stitches, and we want to cast that on to 3 double-pointed needles. So we'll cast 5 onto one, 5 onto the next one, and 5 onto the third one for a total of 15 stitches, and then we connect the needles and knit for a while. Okay, so we've got 5 stitches on our first needle, and we need to cast 5 stitches onto our second needle. Again, I'm using the long tail cast on, but it works the same no matter which cast on you use. You'll just cast on your 5 and then do the next 5, etc. So I'm going to cast my first stitch onto my second needle and slide it right up next to that first one so that it makes one continuous line of cast on. And then just keep casting on until I have 5 on this needle. Okay, now you grab your third one. So you notice that each time I've cast on, I just let the needles dangle until I have a whole series here of needles. Now to bring them together, all I do is close the circle. So you make a little triangle here with your needles. You make sure that all of the stitches are aligned the same way. So in this case, so that all of the little cast on bumps are at the bottom and that there are no twists in the needle. And then you bring them together like so. So that my working yarn is on my right hand needle and the open end of the knitting is in my left hand. And I use the 4th needle to just knit. And again, I want to arrange them so that the knit side faces me and the purl side faces into my tube. Assuming that I'm going to knit in stockinette. If I wanted to knit in reverse stockinette, I could do that the opposite way. So I'm just going to knit this like usual. So stick in the needle, wrap the yarn around the point and pull it through. And you can see that working that first stitch just closes the circle, and I'm ready to knit my tube. Now let's say that I wanted to cast on to 4 double-pointed needles. So I could just continue the way that I had before. Drop these 3, take the 4th needle in the right hand, and just do the long tail cast on, sliding that first stitch right up next to that 3rd needle. Continue to cast on until I have my desired number of stitches, which is 5 in this case, on my 4th needle. And now I'm ready to bring my needles together, align my stitches so that the cast on edge is around the bottom of the needle. The knit stitches are facing me, the purl stitches are facing inside, and I'm ready to knit. All right, so that's how to cast on to double-pointed needles. Situations that you may decide to use 3 versus 4 needles will just depend on either the number of your stitches. The more stitches you have, the more needles you may need to distribute them over, or as we saw at the top of our sweet pea hat, or you will see if you're coming here first, we wanted to divide our sweet pea hat into 3 equal parts, so we knit the top of our hat with 3 double-pointed needles. So it can either be a way to help you divide up the stitches that you have equally to achieve a desired effect, or just a way to accommodate a certain number of stitches that you want to that makes it easier for you. So in my class, Circular Knitting Hats 4 Ways, I show you not only how to knit using double-pointed needles, but also a short circular needle, 2 circular needles, and 1 long circular needle. So we go through 4 different methods for knitting in the round to give you a really complete intro to knitting in the round on not only circular needles, but also double pointed needles.
To find out more about Craftsy.com, click the link.